let's look at this top. You may think that's so girly and sweet, and I want that. I want to embrace my girly side, and I should probably get this. It only costs 15 euros. Let's go for it. Fast forward, it lives now in your wardrobe and you never wear it. Or you've worn it once and you had to sweat real bad in it. You didn't like the feel of it and it just doesn't work with the clothes you have in your wardrobe. Now you lost these 15 euros and now add that up. This doesn't seem so cheap anymore. This is why I want to talk about how being cheap with fashion and clothes actually makes you broke. This is something I had to learn for myself, and I'm not here to blame anyone who buying fast fashion or participating in cheaper ways of acquiring clothes. This is not about that. This is more about the overconsumption side of things, which I feel like is often overlooked, and I really want to muse about it with you. So let's get straight into the video. The first point I want to make is the fast fashion trap. I mean, this is the most obvious one, but fast fashion companies want you to buy constantly. These are not meant to work with your capsule wardrobe. These are not meant to work with your personal style or actually create personal style, because as I've discussed before in my video how to create personal style, I already explained how personal style cannot be bought and you cannot buy your way into having personal style. It's actually quite the opposite, and this is why fast fashion companies will always push their new collections every week, and they're not made to last. They're not made to make you feel good. It's made for you to buy at a cheap price, but to buy it often. So you're more likely to buy a bunch of them in different colors or every other week, and over time these costs add up. And if you buy a bunch of those fast fashion items maybe in a month or 2 months, the probability of you spending 200, 300, 400 euros on fast fashion items is pretty high, because it's just so easy to acquire. And I know the idea is just so tempting to have this huge closet with the same top but in multiple colors, to have everything that is trending and to participate in trends. I know how it feels and how exciting it feels and what kind of dopamine rush you get from it, but it keeps you stagnant. It keeps you broke financially and also in your personal style journey. Furthermore, there is the inflation and price creep, because as you may have noticed, Zara is getting really expensive if you compare it to what it was like 10 years ago, for example. Some of the prices have been tripled. A 15 euro top is easily sold for 35 or 40 euros nowadays, whereas your income has probably not tripled in those years. So you get less quality for a higher price, and the quality is constantly decreasing due to this business model of fast fashion. These brands cut quality to maintain profit, so the clothes last even less time than they have in the past. The second point why being cheap with clothes makes you actually broke is that cheap new stuff, and I'm not talking about vintage secondhand stuff. I'm the advocate for buying amazing quality pieces, for example secondhand and vintage, very low price. I'm the queen of the budget. I can work any budget. It's not about the budget necessarily, it's about the being cheap part. It's about you try to convince yourself that cutting corners for yourself and your clothes is okay. It's when you think that wearing polyester and paying less is okay because it's cheap and you can throw it away easily in a couple of months when you don't want it anymore. This is not the mindset I want you to have. This comes hand in hand with chasing trends, because when buying something cheap and new and every other week and month, it's most probably trending. Therefore, you will never catch up with the trends, and you're constantly chasing trends, never figuring out what you actually like and what your personal style actually is. You're just busy spending and looking for the next trending piece to buy. Quality over quantity forces you to find your style. Investing in timeless and high quality pieces means investing in yourself, means that you will buy less over the years and with time. And this does not mean that you have to buy the same old black leather boots. If that's what you want, that's okay, but you can find high quality pieces in your personal style. It doesn't have to be the basic ass wardrobe. Any of those old money influencers push you to. It's not about that. High quality is something else. With high quality, I don't mean necessarily designer, even though sometimes designer and luxury brands have great quality, but it's not the point. You can find, again, amazing secondhand cashmere, leather, silk, cotton, whatever. This kind of capsule wardrobe thinking of owning less, or maybe a very curated amount of clothes that you can style with each other any other way, is so much more fulfilling and will give rise to your own creativity. Furthermore, the long-term cost of being cheap with fashion is that you don't own anything of value. What does that mean? If the only thing you have in your wardrobe is disposable fashion, fast fashion, clothes that is not made well, not made to last, don't have the option of reselling these things if you need cash, and you don't have inheritance pieces if you may have children, nieces, nephews, someone to pass on what you've acquired. And this is something we don't talk and think about more often, because of course you can buy more of the en route jewelry, but it's expensive, and the amount of money you waste on these type of costume jewelry, especially designer costume jewelry, is actually ridiculous, because you could instead buy something out of real gold or silver or a gemstone or a diamond. First of all, the value will increase, or it will hold its value, and it won't tarnish. It will keep the shine, it will keep its color, and you can enjoy it for more years to come. Even if you're not interested in collecting inheritance pieces, at least you will get more joy out of this product. So why wouldn't you want to spend a little bit more in the beginning, but then enjoy it longer, instead of always buying and never really stopping on one thing, because it always tarnishes and doesn't last, essentially. So if you spend, for example, 1,000 euros on fast fashion items, you will end up with lost money, actually. But if you invest the same money into specially curated vintage designer items or vintage high quality items, real gold or silver jewelry, you haven't lost your money. Your money is still working for you. And it's no wonder that the lucky people who wear their grandma's jewelry or great grandma's jewelry, they love it and enjoy it because it's so special to them. It not only holds material value, but also emotional value, because the thing could actually live and live on and live longer. And this type of long-term mindset, I feel like we should embrace in a lot of things. Everything that you buy has either to give you some sort of utility or joy. And if the joy is very short term, think about it twice. Maybe you could transform that short term joy into long-term joy with a little bit more saving, or buying less and then buying the long-term joy instead. The last point I want to make, I already got into it, is this cheap mindset that you value short-term pleasure over long-term pleasure. And it's what I've talked before with this whole personal style discourse. When we want to build personal style, we cannot expect it to happen now. We cannot expect it to buy a bunch of stuff and then expect yourself to have iconic personal style. This is not how it works. It's about the accumulation over time. And it's not only the pure act of accumulation and buying, but also the act of curating, contemplating, immersing yourself into your own interests and accumulating bit by bit over time, and then having this amazing, worthwhile closet. The I replace it later mentality, which means I will buy cheap now and then throw it away and then buy cheap again because it's just so convenient. I can just throw it away and it won't hurt me. Yeah, those 15 euros may not hurt you now, but over time, this will be thousands of euros and you will regret it. Or if you won't regret it, your bank account will be smaller than it actually should have been for this garbage of stuff that you have actually bought. So the I replace it later mentality actually means you're spending all the time. You're just waiting to spend again when you can just replace this. So you see what I mean? Buying already with the knowing that you can just easily throw it away. It doesn't have value to you. This is not the way you should spend your coin. this is not the way you should present yourself, and this is not the way you should think about yourself as what you deserve. And this broke mindset is actually more so about how much you think you're worth. I'm not talking about that people who buy luxury designer brands have more self-esteem and just because they have more money to spend. This is not what I'm talking about. It's about the way what you feel like you deserve to wear, what you feel like is important to yourself. For example, your health. Is it important for you to wear natural fibers? Is it important for you to honor yourself and your body with the way you dress? Do you honor your personality and individuality over groupthink and trends? This is an actually much deeper topic than it seems like, and I would just love for us to muse about this in the comments. I hope I could make this point clear that investing in higher quality will actually force better financial habits and fewer impulse buys, and also the promotion of actual personal style. So instead of spending constantly on low quality fast fashion items, we could just switch our mindset in that way that you actually deserve more, and that your money and the time you spend working is worth more than this small piece of cheap short-term dopamine. Let's talk, let's muse about it. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on this topic, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.